Hello everyone, welcome to episode 5 of the TripVR Podcast. My name is VR Bug and this is Dr. Greg. Say hello, Greg.
Hello, Greg.
Hello, Greg. I am a VR live streamer on Twitch and YouTube. So if you want to check any of my content out, you can. I'll leave the links in the description below. And the same for Greg, because you're a YouTuber as well, aren't you, Greg?
Yes, I don't live stream, at least not yet. I've fiddled around with the idea a little bit in my head, but no, I do create a lot of content. I've been doing it for 3 or 4 years now, I think. So, it really shows with my 227 subscribers.
The numbers on everything, Greg. The numbers on everything.
I know.
And I think you should totally do some live streaming. Like, from what I've seen of your content so far, I think you'd be a really good live streamer.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun to do, especially with
Definitely.
horror titles.
Yeah, with the horror titles especially. Yeah, everyone loves watching horror, 100%. In today's episode, we have the following. We discuss any VR news that has caught our eye over the last couple of weeks. We review the new atmospheric VR puzzle adventure called Mare by Vision Trick Media. I tear out what is left of my hair through playing Obduction by Cyan Worlds, which is an incredibly hard VR puzzler. I also hide in a lot of lockers in Alien Isolation, and I completely noped out of that game. I know you saw some of that stream, Greg. Oh my god!
I did. I saw when he quit, and I was so sad.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Alien Isolation as well in this podcast, and we're also going to announce the winners of the key competition for InDeath Unchained on the Oculus Quest as well at the end of this episode. So stay tuned for that. So, what's caught your eye in the VR news over the last couple of weeks then, Greg?
The thing that really excites me right now in the VR news is the upcoming release of Hitman 3 on the PSVR.
Yes.
And subsequently, that means we also be playing Hitman 1 and 2 on the PSVR. And that's really exciting for me.
So that's all confirmed, isn't it? That you've got all three games that are going to be playable in virtual reality.
Yep.
Very cool. So I don't know much about the series. So I know that you've played it before. I have never played it. But it's one of those that I don't know why I haven't played it. Like, it's been everywhere for a number of years now, and it always looks like a really nice immersive game. A lot of depth to it, a lot of story, and like those missions seem like quite hard, but at the same time fun to play. So I take it you are just a hitman, and you're given a target, and you have to hunt them down. And what makes it so special? Like, why do people love this series?
Well, first of all, I mean, it starts out. They start out like your typical. They have like the mission thing, or they show you the pictures, and the person that you have to assassinate and all that kind of stuff. And really, what I remember, because I gotta say, I've got it right here. This was Hitman 2, as you can see.
No
Hitman
way.
2, for the PlayStation 2. Yeah. So,
wow.
I pulled this out of my box of old games. I don't remember if I played Hitman 1 or not, to be honest. I think that would have been on the PS1. I probably did.
Yeah.
But I remember them being very open worldish as far as like how you completed your mission. There wasn't just one way to do it. So you had a lot of, that was a big thing at the time. There wasn't really much like that. So you had a lot of decisions that you could make. And as long as you got the guy killed and escaped, you were good.
Yeah.
You'd like sneak up on people, and you could steal their clothes to dress up like other people and infiltrate things. And, it was a lot of fun. I didn't get very far in either game that I played. I think I also have a Hitman game on. It was either the Xbox 360 or the Xbox. I can't even remember. And same thing. I mean, I found them to be kind of difficult, honestly. I probably just gave up on them after a while. I had a few fun with a couple missions and then just never played them again. But now that it's in VR,
it's a different ball game.
Always changes the game for me. Yeah. So
it sounds good, like good fun that you can actually change clothes and things to infiltrate. I'd imagine there's like parties and stuff that you got to break into, that kind of stuff. Pose as chefs.
Yes, one mission I posed as a delivery guy to a kitchen in this mansion, I remember, and then I went up and killed some guy, and
Nice. Okay, so
different.
What was the date on the PlayStation 2 copy that you got there for Hitman?
Oh my gosh. I
mean,
where is the date on
because if it's PlayStation
things?
2, I mean, that was a long time ago, and this is
long freaking time ago.
Yeah, and this is Hitman 3 that's about to drop. Yeah, so I wonder how long this game's been in development now.
I don't know, because like I said, there've been other titles.
Yeah.
I don't know where you'd even see a date on these.
I'm sure I saw once, I think it was a mobile game called Hitman Go.
What do you know? There you go. Xbox 360. So that's the other Hitman game I have.
Whoa. No way.
Let me see here. I'm seeing if it's on the disc anywhere. Huh. Nope, I'm not seeing it. I don't know. I don't know how old this game is.
Well, I mean, PlayStation 2, it's going to be old. It's just surprising that there was like a big break between, Hitman 2 and Hitman 3. Like, it seems quite a long time.
Yeah, well, like I said, those are the numbered games, and there are other Hitman games that have come out since.
Right, okay.
So why they did it that way, that I can't tell you. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. Well, the trailer that dropped a few days ago looks amazing. It's like it was the sandbox version of the game. So I guess some levels are more open than others if you're in like sandbox mode. Like you can have multiple ways to reach the target. I guess that's why it's called sandbox. I don't know.
I guess, I don't know.
But one thing to note that was obvious from the trailer was that the way he's like holding guns and stuff, it looked a little bit janky. Like it didn't look particularly as fluid for virtual reality games. And I think it's because they're locking it down to controller-only support, aren't they?
Yeah, I think they're using like the gyros and everything in the controller.
Yeah.
So that I'm guessing you're probably aiming just with your controller like that. I'm hoping it's not thumbstick. I hate thumbstick aiming.
I don't think you could probably do it with thumbstick, could you? Like again, like you have to be quite accurate, don't you? I would have thought with certain movements.
Yeah. That would just be frustrating to do. I mean, most games I've played with controller, when it uses gun, you aim with your head. You just look, and your gun just automatically goes where you're aiming. So
which is probably the best approach for something like that as well.
Yeah. And I've seen like in the previous trailers that I've seen of the game, like they had like a Garrett wire and stuff. So I'm guessing you just take your controller and reach around and pull or something like that.
God.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Some people.
I know a lot of people are complaining.
Yeah.
They're like, "Oh, that's violence in your face." Like, "Oh, you're a hitman. What are you gonna do? Tickle him to death?" I mean, it's like
feather dusters. I don't think that would work really, not at all. But it sounds like they missed a trick though. Like, why aren't they using the motion controllers?
I don't know. Maybe it's because the move controllers suck. Maybe that's why
they do. But then if you look at like Iron Man VR, the release at the end of last year, it was
worked
widely received, and they were using the PlayStation Move controllers.
But then you look at Blood and Truth, and I just wanted to chuck those controllers, into the wall half the time, because you try to aim and your gun hand would like float off, and you're like, well, why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that? I mean, it's obvious that the tracking on PlayStation is like just so old now, isn't it?
It's really terrible.
It's proper old tech. The whole of the PSVR is old tech now. And, and that's why it's really sad that Sony doesn't appear to be pushing VR forward this year. I mean, I'm sure behind the scenes they're probably working on a new headset.
I guarantee you they are.
Guarantee, yeah. I mean, it's done all right. PSVR, it's done
good.
It's a lot of new followers to VR. They've sold a lot of headsets. So
and then you've got something as popular as the Quest 2 coming out, where there are so many new VR people now. They're still working on it.
Have you got a PS4 or did you buy into a PS5?
I have a PS4 Pro right now, so that's good enough for.
That's good, because anyone that buys this on the PlayStation 5, they're going to have to get the adapter for the PS4 camera, aren't they, for it to work? And
I think didn't they say that if you get the PS4 version, doesn't it automatically upgrade to the PS5 on the PS5 or something like that?
Yeah, so it's not just Hitman 3, it's Hitman 2 and 1 that are going to be almost like retrofitted with VR. So I think if you buy the PS5 version of the game, it will automatically upgrade previous versions for the console. and obviously kind of retrofit the VR for those previous versions, so Hitman 1 and 2 as well. But you still need that adapter for the camera for the tracking to work as such. But it does fall into this kind of in-between place, you know. We've got the last generation console with the PS4, PS4 Pro, and now we've got the PS5 that's dropped recently as well, and they've kind of like just dropped in the middle. So they've got to make this game kind of compatible with both, you know, generations. And I think this is why we're kind of seeing this kind of weird upgrade path, and you should only have like the PlayStation 4 version of like Hitman 2 for it to work in VR and PS5 and all these kind of things, like, you know, these kind of caveats that you have in order to get into the game, which for most people would be a barrier to entry, I would have thought. You know,
yeah, well,
people are just looking at it and going, well, I just can't be bothered to figure all this out. I just want to put the game and download it and just play it. You know, I don't want to have to fiddle with all this stuff to get it working. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not it is a hit. But I have to say though, the trailer for me has really kind of sold me on kind of wanting to at least try this game, because it just looks really, really good. The levels, the kind of design of them, the atmosphere that it kind of portrays.
The character models look great.
Character models look really, really good. Yeah. And from what I've seen in the gameplay, it looks fun. It just looks fun. And you know, never played a Hitman game myself, but I would like to give this a go and just see that maybe if I do take to it in VR, it's just such a shame that it's just going to have standard controller support. That's all.
Yeah. The nice thing about those games too, at least what I remember, is you could kind of go both ways. You could play it stealthy like, or you could go in guns a blazing, and you know. So I mean, it just that was, for me, that's the first game I remember that had such an open, you know, you do it the way you want to do it game. I think that's one of the things that made them special.
Yeah, definitely.
Another thing that's really exciting for in the news, which it's kind of old news, it's been out for about a week now, is the BHaptics mod for our favorite game, Population 1.
Population 1, yay! You get to talk about Population 1 again.
Yes,
amazing.
Yes. But now that's the whole reason I got the haptic vest, is I wanted it for Population 1. So yeah, the Sir Coolness made the mod. You have to go through their Discord, I think, and it's kind of a process. You have to send like a picture of your BHaptic vest to one of the admins. I think Alex VR is the guy that I was dealing with.
Yeah.
And then they verify you for their Discord, and then you can download their mod after they send you the rules and everything of using it. You use Melon Loader to load it up, and it's for the Steam version. So I haven't been playing a ton with it because right now I'm playing this week, and Hellquake and I are always comparing our stats, and if I go to the Steam version, everything is 0. I don't have any kills, I don't have anything. So next week I'll start playing with it more.
Or what you can do to get around that, if you want to, is you can use Revive. So
I tried that. And
yeah,
it wasn't working.
Oh really? I've played
maybe I did. Maybe I
Revive a lot.
Yeah. Maybe I did it wrong. I'm not sure, because I play on Oculus, you know, for my so. But anyway, it creates a little file for you, so you can go in and adjust your settings. Because one of the things about that I don't like about the mod, just as it stands, is everything is so strong. I mean, it vibrates when you fly, but it vibrates really hard, you know. So it's just, so I turned that way down. It vibrates when you pick up ammo and when you pick up guns, which I don't know why you need a vibration for that. And like the recoil on the guns when you shoot, it goes all through your body, and it's so strong that you can't tell where you're getting shot from, because you can't tell the difference between getting shot or the recoil of the gun.
Okay.
So I went and I turned all of that down, and that helped a lot. I might even try it, see if I can get rid of the picking up guns and stuff. Because I really don't even need the recoil in the vest from shooting. Yeah. Because you've got haptics already in the hands, you know?
Yeah.
So
it's true. Yeah. I guess too much haptics is a bad thing, really, because, you know, it doesn't really add to the game after a point, does it?
Yeah, because it is just you're just constantly vibrating. It's like so it kind of takes away the whole point.
But it's good that you can adjust things like that though. So you can, even though it's a mod, you can still got options to slightly adjust those settings for you.
Yeah, yeah. It's pretty cool. It's cool to have the what. If there was anything that there are a couple things I know I kind of talked about this a little bit on our last episode, but if there's anything I was going to complain about BHaptics, it's number one, it is not user friendly at all. I had to troubleshoot forever just to try and get the thing to work downstairs on my computer because I have this Bluetooth radio thing in it that interferes with the dongle that they give you.
Yeah.
And I had to go through this pain in the butt steps of disabling all of that, removing all of the drivers, and then plugging in the thing. And, and then I was finding if it wasn't like out in the area close to where I was, it was constantly losing connection.
Okay.
So so you have to get like an extender to bring that little dongle out farther into your play space so it's closer to the vest. And
if you use a Bluetooth dongle, they don't have a particularly strong receiver signal. So I use one with my Quest 2 when I'm streaming audio, like directly from the Quest. It's caught by the dongle. And if I don't have this small Bluetooth dongle, which I've got up here, I'll show you. This one here.
Yeah, and that looks a lot like the one.
Yeah, so if you don't have this up high, almost in line of sight of the headset, it loses connection. And it sounds like that's what's happening with your
It's exactly
BHaptics.
What's happening. So
So it's actually, I would say, for the connection issues, you probably want a slightly better Bluetooth receiver. Right, I don't know where we went wrong in that conversation. It's when I plugged it in.
Fucking Bluetooth is where we went wrong.
Bluetooth. Fuck you, Bluetooth. Fuck you. And everything you stand for.
Yeah, no, that thing. So it's super not user friendly, and like my brother's been having a hell of a time, even trying to get the Half-Life Alex mod to work, and he couldn't get the other one. He finally got Pop 1 to work. I don't know how he did that.
So it doesn't matter if you're using the mods or if it's straight out the box. You find the experience of setting it up to be.
Well, I haven't played anything where I haven't had the mod yet. I haven't played anything that works right out of the box. Another thing that I don't like about it is those motors are so loud. So it's like it's like, wow, that's so loud.
Wow.
So
yeah.
I guess if you have headphones on, it wouldn't be so bad. But like with Pop 1, I'm always playing on my Rift S, so I just use the piped audio for that. So I can hear things on the outside pretty well.
Okay, so after you adjusted the mod for Pop 1, do you feel like the gameplay is now enhanced with it?
Yeah, it's cool. I like
it.
It's
good, isn't it?
I mean, like I said, once I start playing with it more, when I start on my Steam account next week, then I'll see if it's something that I want to constantly do.
Yeah. So can you tell where the bullets are hitting you from, sort of the direction and stuff using the haptics?
Yes.
Well, that's
really
key.
Nice.
That's what it's all about. Is feeling
that's all
that
I want.
Impact. Yeah, that impact.
Yeah, I don't care about any of the others. Yeah. I don't even need it vibrating when I'm flying, to be honest. I mean, because I kind of like the peacefulness of the flying.
Yeah. Now it's like, it's not got quite the same. Not quite the pleasant experience anymore.
No.
I can understand that, actually. I can understand that, and that's as I say, that's why it's good that you can kind of adjust these mods on the fly as well, so it doesn't ruin the experience completely for you.
Well, it's not so much on the fly with that one. You have to go into that file and open up with Notepad and type in your values. It's like from 0 to 10 and or 0 to 1. No, it's 0 to 1, and 1 would be maxed out, and 0. Yeah. So it's still great that you you take a step forward into the world of haptics, though it's something that I still haven't done and I want to do, but I think I'm waiting for the next gen haptics. I think it's going to get better. I know it will. This is definitely like the beginnings.
The beginnings. And it's good that they're pushing the envelope with it as well. Companies have to go through all of this. It's new tech. They have to figure out what works and what doesn't work. So I'm sure any feedback that you give them will be well received, and they can just adjust it for future models. Definitely. Yep. Cool. Well, talking about Population 1, they've got a New Year's update, which I haven't jumped into yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So you've played a little bit about it, haven't you? So is it any good?
A little bit. Just a little bit.
Define a little bit.
I play like
every
at
night?
least At least 3 hours a night. Yeah.
3 hours
And
a night.
and the weekends I'm playing like 5 or 6 hours straight, generally every day on the
Wow.
weekends. Yeah. So, but no, yeah, it's cool. They've got New Year's Eve balloons that you can shoot. It's kind of like the power cell thing,
Oh
that you
yeah,
had where you had to
yeah.
find those. And I think you have to get 40 of them, and you get a whole bunch of different skins for your guns and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And the thing that makes this one a little, I see those balloons. I'm like, God, I want to shoot that balloon, but I also don't want to give away my position right now because I know there's a team right over there.
They
So,
hear it today if you shoot the
oh
balloon.
yeah, because you got to shoot them, so they'll hear your gun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes it a little more.
That is interesting, and that adds a new
Yeah,
twist to it, doesn't it? I quite like
yeah.
that. That's quite
Oh
good.
yeah, and I'm had they got rid of like all of like the big Christmas ornament and outpost and stuff like that. I can't
Okay.
remember if the snowmen are gone now or not. I
Is
can't remember
is
that.
plains? Have they still got all the ice in the plains area?
Yes, thank
They
God, because
kept it.
that's one of
Oh,
my favorite
amazing.
things they've done to that game. Yeah, is
Yeah,
that the planes
100%.
now.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
really good little battle zone plains now,
it
isn't it?
is.
With
It's a
the ice.
blast.
Yeah, because
Uh-huh.
for those that don't know, the plains area in Pop One has always been quite open from day one. Like if you drop there and you land there, you can just be seen from all angles, and it always ends in carnage. But
Yeah.
at the winter event update they did over the holidays, they added a whole load of ice everywhere, including like big ice pillars and
Yeah,
stuff.
just all kinds of big
Yeah,
structures that you can run around on, and I
and
use those all the time.
yeah, some of the best kind of skirmishes I've had now in Pop One have been using like the ice pillars in planes. Like I really enjoy it there now. It's really good fun. And one of the things that happened over the year, I was playing loads and loads of Pop One as well. I haven't logged into this update yet, but I will do probably tonight. But one of the things that happened, we came across this guy that he was obviously a complete noob, right? And I felt really bad about this afterwards.
No, you didn't.
At the time, no. At the time, I did. You know, I did think it was quite funny. And then afterwards, in hindsight, I was like, that's probably not the best thing to do to him. So he was struggling. Like one of the friends previously I was playing with. He basically said, you got to come over here. There's a guy, and it looks like he's struggling to figure out how to use a gun. So we're like, it's his first game. So we all went over to have a look, and he couldn't shoot any of us, so he was just kind of like running around. And then I was like, do you think we can put him in a box? And he would know how to get out. So we gave it a go, and we ended up trapping this guy in his box. So we built the box around him, and he was in there, and he didn't even know how to get out the game. Like he didn't know how to exit, didn't know how to get out the box, didn't know how to use weapons to shoot his way out. He just didn't know what to do. And like literally, 20 seconds later, or whatever, we took the front of the box off, and he was still in there.
Yeah. What was great is as he was sitting in that box, watching the zone just envelop the box as it was coming in.
Yeah, that's it. So for those that are watching the podcast, we'll show you the clip now because it is quite funny. So this is me and my squad trapping a guy in a box. Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Now, one of the things that just killed me as a funny event with Pop One is we were hot dropping into Outpost. Hellquake and I were, and we drop in there, and as I'm coming down, I look over and I see this guy. He's like I can't remember what character. I think he was an ace. And he's coming down, and he just lands right on the ground. He doesn't put his arms out, so he just it's like he's this tall after he's done. And I float into that little thing at Outpost, and I grab my ump and load it up, and he's just running across the road, and he just looks at me, he just starts waving, and like
He kind of knew his time was up, and he just accepted it with a smile on his face.
Oh no, I was playing with you on that one. Because then we took out the rest of that squad. There's that girl sitting up in the thing.
Yeah, I remember you were in hysterics over the fact this guy just basically waved at you. He knew he'd made a mistake. He dropped to the ground and he lost all his health and everything. And his time was up.
Yeah, it was good times.
That's cool. Okay, so over the holiday, it turned out that Alien Isolation was free on the Epic Game Store. Now, I played Alien Isolation a couple of years ago, and I thought to myself, why not jump into it again in VR? Because they've updated the Mother mod for Alien Isolation, which enables you to play the game, because it's a flat game, in 3D virtual reality. So I played it on my channel, and I think I did 2 streams in total. And I can hand on heart say that it is the scariest game for me in virtual reality. I had quite a few jump scares, one after the other, and it got to the point where I just couldn't handle it anymore. And I've played a lot of horror games, pretty much all of the top sort of 10 VR horror games out there. And I've never kind of noped out of a game before. Like, I can push through to the end, get through all the jump scares, and I'm absolutely fine. But for some reason, there was something about Alien Isolation that just got me that day. And I just pretty much rage quit the game and decided I wasn't going to play it anymore. And I think my adrenaline glands were just completely drained, like from all the jump scares and things. So here's a little montage anyway, just to give you an idea of what the game is like and how I reacted to a few things while we were playing it. Why did that door just move by itself? I have had some of the biggest jump scares in VR I've ever had with this game so far today. Like, literally, no joke,
Mean Machine D
heart attack.
said I'm good. Got a spare 5 minutes, so I thought I'd come watch an adult scream.
Come to the right place then, Dean. Fuck, there he is. Alien's over to the left. Oh my god, the size of that thing is ridiculous. It looks remarkably similar to one I've hidden in before. Oh!
Dr. Greg VR said yes, you need to be in the private room hall.
Oh my god. Ah! Shit! Oh! Ah! No! That's it. I'm done. I'm done. Oh my god.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
I'm done. So Greg, have you played Alien Isolation at all?
I have. I've played through the whole thing in VR. I think I was playing on my Vive Pro at the time.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the Epic Store version. It was the Steam Store version. Yeah, I mean, one of my friends, he's a French guy, is Johan Peter. He's the good Steam Dolls guy, and he's like, after I was playing Resident Evil 7, I was telling him how, well, you know, it was the first game I've played where I was like, I sat in VR with a gamepad and I actually really enjoyed it, you know.
Yeah.
And how scary Resident Evil 7 was. He's like, you have got to do Alien Isolation.
Yeah.
So I did, and I got into that game, and I was just, first of all, that mod makes the game feel native. It's one of the best looking VR games you can play yet. You know, it's so beautiful.
Yeah, it feels like the VR is kind of native to it. So for those who don't know, as I say, Alien Isolation was a 2D game. So there was a mod that was made. He's called Nibre, I think. Nibre on Twitter, and he's modding a Halo game as well, Halo Reach, I think, to come into VR in the near future as well. So you install the mod. It's just literally just one file that you drag into the main Alien Isolation folder, and it just launches in virtual reality. And it does
so good.
It's so good. It's you know, I've played a few games with gamepad. I'm more of a stand-up kind of room scale VR player, but I enjoyed sitting down with the gamepad with this as, you know, something a bit different. The only other game that I've really enjoyed with the gamepad was probably Hellblade. That was probably the last time I sat down with the gamepad and really enjoyed the experience. But Alien Isolation is definitely up there. And it fits really well. Like, the controls are straightforward. It just seems to work. You know, even the cutscenes. I think he adjusted the mod so the cutscenes are handled a little bit better in VR as well. So they used to be quite at a distance in the headset, right at the distance, but now they're kind of a bit close and kind of scaled up, and you feel like a bit more like it was properly designed for virtual reality. And he's done such a good job. Like, the mod's incredible to the point where that
terrifying game.
That alien looks real.
Oh God, yeah. Oh. It just tricks you so. And the space station is just such an amazing atmosphere, and that station is a character in itself. You know, it's so realistic. Considering how old that game is, it still blows me away how good it looks.
Yeah, like, it's like they properly designed the space station, and just to give it that feel that it is a living and breathing thing. There are people that live there. You've got all like their sleeping quarters there. You've got just all of like the lockers that are everywhere, which you end up using for hiding in a lot of the time. Yeah, but like, there's engineering sections. There's all sorts of different compartments within the space station that kind of makes you feel that like this is a real thing. Definitely.
Yeah, and towards the end, you end up going down into like the reactor of that thing, and you go into like I remember in the movie Alien, the mother computer that they would go in and talk to. You go into one of those things, and it's there's a lot that you didn't get to. It just keeps like eventually you get to a point where like the androids have these rubber suits on in a really difficult area, and so the EMP mines don't affect them.
Oh my god!
So you just have to really.
And this is probably the other thing to say as well, is that it's not just the alien that you've got to kind of hide from in this game, but you've also got androids and other humans as well that you kind of have to avoid because they're after you. Everyone's out for themselves. It's like a pure kind of survival horror experience. I'll give a bit of background about the story because I think everyone just assumes that it follows on and it's just maybe Ellen. It is Ellen Ripley, isn't it?
Ellen Ripley was the original.
Ripley. Yeah, Ripley, so I think everyone assumes that if they haven't played the game that it would just be another Ellen Ripley story. But it slots into the universe really, really well because it's actually her daughter, Amanda Ripley, and she gets the opportunity to follow up on what might have happened to her mother because she doesn't know the full story. And they've discovered the black box from the Nostromo, which is Ellen Ripley's spaceship that went missing. So she goes on that mission to kind of recover the black box and to kind of get a bit more information about her mother's disappearance. And
it's like 15 years after the original Alien movie, I think, is where it's set.
Yeah. And it feels like it's almost like a film entry.
It is. It's my second favorite. I love Aliens, the movie. Yeah. The second movie is my favorite movie of all of them. Yeah. And this is my second favorite entry into the entire Alien universe. It's better than anything that followed Aliens.
Yeah, and I mean, I remember watching Alien, and I was blown away by the film Alien. But Aliens is definitely the better.
It's just more action, more aliens. Action, it's the way they did it back then in the 80s, it's just more, or was it the 90s? I can't remember when exactly.
Probably late 80s, early 90s,
yeah.
Probably 80s, late 80s maybe. But it was the camaraderie between the Marines as well that's quite funny.
The kicks and whatever. Can't think of his name now. The one guy, he just died. Bill Paxton. I love his character. Yeah. Like, game over, man. That's it. Yeah. Pretty shit now, man.
That's it. It's so good. That's good impression. I would say Bill Paxton, definitely. But it slotted into the kind of Alien universe. I thought Alien Isolation, and I'm gutted that I haven't finished it. And who knows? Maybe in the future, part of me will go back and do it. But the alien in Alien Isolation is actually an artificial intelligence. And
it's a good one.
And it is a good one, yeah. Normally when you go in to play video games of any shape or form, whether it's VR or otherwise, the AI is generally pretty terrible. There's very few games that we can probably name where the AI is incredible. And, you believe these are real people or real animals or real creatures or whatever. But the AI in Alien Isolation, bearing in mind this is quite an old game now as well, is second to none. Like this alien, fantastic. It hunts you down,
and it learns.
It learns as well. Like how did they how do they even code that? You know, you can tell that it's learning the way that you're playing the game, your game style. I think it's part of the reason why I got frustrated with it is because you actually have to think to beat the game. You know, this isn't just a kind of run down the corridor as quick as you can, just get away and you.
No, don't run.
No,
you don't run. That alien will always win.
That's right. The alien will always win and rip your head off. Oh my god! But, the way that it does the kills as well when it does get hold of you, it works in VR. Like there's actually one.
Oh
where,
god, yes.
You know, it has like a mouth within a mouth, doesn't it? The Xenomorph, and you actually see that come towards you in VR, and it makes your heart race.
There's several different kill animations. One time I was in an area where I was running away and you can hear that thing and it sounds so real coming up behind you. It's like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And it hit me, it flipped me up in the air. And as I'm landing on my back, it runs around on all of its legs right in front of me and just
Yeah. Oh my god! Well, I haven't seen that kind of kill animation yet.
Yeah.
But for me, getting ripped out of a locker when I thought I was safe was, oh my god, that game. And it's like, so as I'm talking about it, I kind of definitely have, the urge to pick it up again. But at the same time, I know that you have to be in a particular mindset for this game. You will get wound up by the jump scares because they come so frequently because you lose to this AI. This AI is
well, not only that, but the tension. There's more than just the jump scares. There's that suspense. It's just constant suspense in that game. It never lets up.
Yeah,
because you can hear that thing running in. Yeah, you can hear that thing running in the vents around you. Every time you crawl into one of those vents, I'm turning on that flashlight and I'm like, oh, please don't be in here. Please. Because he can be in there. Talk about terrifying, being stuck in that vent and having it crawling right at you.
Oh my God. Unbelievable. And I remember seeing like alien dribble coming out of like a vent as well. So it kind of gives you a heads up that you're about to enter a part of the game where the alien's going to be hunting you, because you kind of have these little breaks in between. It kind of like hunts you down, then there's like a bit of story. You might do something maybe with the androids, and then suddenly out of nowhere you'll see like a bit of dribble coming out of the vent. You're like, the alien's about again, or you'll hear it suddenly. And they make the sound obvious to let you know, right, you're in aliens territory again now. You've got to start using stealth to get around it. And I would love to see another game in the series, definitely, just to watch other people play it and laugh at them. But you think it's probably due for an update, isn't it? Yeah, it's probably due an update by now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, because they've tried so many times with Alien games. I think the only other Alien game that I've played, there's a couple of them I liked. One of them was a side-scroller, and I think it was actually based on Alien 3.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
it was on SNES, I think.
Yeah, it was on the SNES. Yeah, I played that. That wasn't a bad platformer at all. Yeah.
No. And then there was one on the PlayStation, on the original PlayStation, that was a first-person shooter.
Yeah.
And it was brutal. It was really hard, but it was a lot of fun to play.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was called. I think it was something like Colonial Marines or something.
No, that was a different one. That was a PC game, and it was terrible.
Was that terrible, was it?
Yeah. But so they've tried so many times, and it's just they haven't quite got it. But this one just, you feel, I mean, from the moment you start that game, when you wake up in your hibernation chamber and you walk into the Torrance, which is the ship that's flying out to the Sevastopol space station.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're looking and you feel like you're in the Nostromo, because everything looks it's just so true to the movie.
Yeah, it's like it's lifted out of the film, isn't it?
Yeah, and it really kind of it demonstrates. I just actually watched Alien again the other night, the first one. And like, this movie holds up to today's standards. It's that freaking good. It is just, the way it was filmed, the special effects.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. And so it just shows you when you're playing this game how good that movie was because that's what I like to do. I just put on my index and I'll sit down. I'm like, I'm just gonna play some Alien instead of watching it,
Yeah, this is it. And it's amazing that we've got the choice that we can do that,
Yeah.
Go from watching the film and then actually being in it via this mother mod. So absolutely incredible. So hats off to Nibre on Twitter. Well done for producing the mod, and he's still updating it now as well, actively updating it in between this Halo Reach mod that he's doing. So hats off to him. Well done. Thank you very much. So as you know, over Christmas, Myst released from Cyan Worlds onto the Oculus Quest 2. And I played through it, absolutely loved it. It's, for those who don't know, it's a kind of adventure puzzle game, and it's renowned for being quite hard. It was actually one of the biggest selling games of the 1990s, which I didn't know until fairly recently anyway. But there is a sequel, which was a result of a Kickstarter that happened in 2013, I think it was. A really successful Kickstarter as well. Like, it got over like $1 million, like 22,000 backers, which is just incredible. And this game, Obduction, it's like the spiritual successor to Myst, and it's on a bigger scale on everything. Everything about this is much bigger than Myst. And when I was playing Myst, I was thinking, these puzzles are hard. You know, these are really hard. And now I've been playing Obduction, I'm like, oh my god, the Myst puzzles were easy. That's what I'm thinking as I'm playing this. Like, it's absolutely incredible. So it's about alien abduction, hence the name Obduction. You kind of get lifted off of Earth, along with different chunks of Earth as well that kind of come with you, and it kind of gets swapped out in these alien worlds. So you end up kind of waking up in this kind of alien environment, but it's still got certain chunks of it that are from Earth, and you have to try and figure out A, what's going on, and like B, how to make it home. And like Myst, it happens over loads of different worlds. So it's not just, just one world and that's it. There's like 4 I've discovered so far that you kind of interact with, and they're all linked together. So like one action in one world can affect a puzzle in another world. And so you're constantly thinking about multiple worlds. Rather than Myst, you kind of like, you went to one... what do they call them in Myst? It wasn't worlds, was it? It was like a era or something.
I think it might have been that.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
remember.
And age, that's it, age.
There you go. Yeah.
You would go to one age in Myst, and all of the puzzles kind of related to each other in that specific age. There wasn't much that related back to the original island. But in Obduction, these worlds are not just out there by themselves, they are all interlinked. And so you have to think in almost like multiple dimensions while you're trying to solve them. And it really has tested my puzzle solving abilities like nothing ever before. And there's one specific puzzle as well, which I managed to solve on today's stream, that has been driving me nuts. I spent one stream that was probably about four hours long, trying to understand this puzzle, trying to solve this puzzle, and then finishing the stream because I couldn't solve the puzzle, and I got frustrated, really frustrated. And then I came back with the stream today, picked up where I left off, and had a bit of a breakthrough and managed to solve it. And that's kind of what happens with these kind of puzzle games as well. You know, you have a bit of a break, you hit something that you can't solve, and you go back to it, and then suddenly, miraculously, like the answer's there. You know, you couldn't.
Or
see
you're doing something somewhere else, and then it hits you, and you're like, "Wait a minute, what if I do this?"
Yeah, exactly, and that's kind of what happened with this maze puzzle. So I was thinking about the game, and it suddenly occurred to me there was a platform off to the left of this maze puzzle, and so we had to reconfigure the maze so that we could go forward and around to the left and get to that other platform.
With an exit
and I
to the
thought
left.
Originally when I'd done the puzzle that I'd solved it, that you just needed a pathway going forward so you could get through it. But actually, you need to reconfigure the same puzzle twice to fully complete what you're meant to do with it. I know, and you know, talking to the stream and everyone in chat, they're all saying it's pretty much the hardest puzzle in the game.
It is. So I don't know how many hours I spent going back and forth between worlds on that one.
Yeah.
You know, swapping things out. Like, why isn't this working? That should have worked.
That's it, you know, and again, it's because all the worlds are interlinked. Like, one thing you do over here can affect what happens in this world as well. And that kind of mechanic wasn't something that I was used to. And this is why Obduction is so mind-bendingly hard, you know. But it's great. Like, Cyan Worlds, they really do create awesome worlds. You know, they live up to their name. They really do. And I remember when I loaded into Myst after I installed it on the Quest 2 for the first time, and it just took me back to the 90s when I played it on the PlayStation 1, and I really did feel like I was in that world. It was great, and it's the way that they make you feel like you really are in somewhere that's not of this earth, and but it has like a sense of familiarity. Like there's systems, there's machines, there's like screens, there's like a few things that you would feel exist on Earth that exist in the alien world as well. So your brain kind of links as to what they might be able to do, and like gear systems and stuff like that. And I've just been so surprised at how hard this game has been. I wasn't expecting it to be this hard, so it's taken me by surprise. So how did you get on when you played it originally?
I think that my first playthrough, it took me 32 hours to beat, if I remember correctly. And I was very proud of myself because I didn't cheat at all. I mean, there was a couple of times where, like that maze puzzle, who knows how long I spent on that one.
I know.
And the thing about that maze puzzle is, when I went back and I've played it a couple more times since, every time I come to that, I struggle with that puzzle every time. It's like, how did I do this? I can't remember what I did. It's a tough one.
I think if I went back to it probably now, I'd probably struggle with it again, because you do have a slight feeling sometimes that you've just got lucky with the solution.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I think there was one that you did earlier in the game with the license plates.
Yes.
You had the answer to that. You didn't have to enter in all the license plates. You did actually see the answer in the previous stream.
So I found it today.
Okay.
I found it. So
yeah.
I won't spoil it for people that might play through the game, but there is a license plate puzzle, and everyone was kind of crying at me because I was doing the long-winded way of solving the puzzle, which was basically brute forcing this keypad and just trying all the combinations that were available to me, when actually there was a hint elsewhere in the world which kind of told you exactly which one to enter into the keypad. And I didn't know anything about it. And I'd walked past it about 100 times and didn't spot it. And
no, you did. I saw you pick it up and you looked at it and you were like,
I
wonder what that is. That must be about a president or something.
I know. And this is the thing about these games as well, is that like there's so many objects in these worlds that you think might not be relevant to whatever puzzle. And half the time it's because you haven't seen the puzzle that they're relevant to. So you don't make the link until a bit later on when you kind of circle back and think, I wonder if that actually affected this puzzle in this world or whatever. And like the game design of this, like the mind boggles. How do you go about designing a game with so many layers like this?
Yeah. This one is fantastic. The puzzles in this game. And it's so great the way they all link together, and everything is just so beautiful in that game.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a PC that can handle it, because it is a performance hog.
It is. It is.
The first time I played it, when I first started, I was playing on a 970 graphics card with like an i5 processor.
Yeah.
My machine sounded like it was going to take flight every time I played that game.
Yeah.
And the frame rates were sucked, and I couldn't play it with the smooth locomotion because it made me sick. I had to do teleport. But that was before I think I got my VR legs. So I feel like trying it now on my beast downstairs to see how it performs, just to try it out.
I would give it another go. So performance issues are definitely there with this game, 100%. One of my friends played it with, I think it was a 2070 Super, something like that. And he was struggling. Like he couldn't, it wasn't necessarily the frame rate. It's just with the anti-aliasing, it was kind of blurring things out and it just didn't look particularly clear. And it started making him feel quite sick. But he couldn't up the graphics to the epic settings or anything because he just couldn't handle it. So he had it on the low settings, but it was slightly blurry and just didn't make him feel.
Yeah,
well
you can't. Low settings are not. I wouldn't recommend low settings on that game because they're just. It makes it really blurry. It looks bad.
Yeah. So I'm playing on medium on most of them. A few of them I've got on low though, just because I was getting some like performance sort of frame dips and stuff, so I had to drop it. But I can kind of understand why there is performance problems though, because the amount of detail in this world is incredible. Isn't it?
this game is a port. It wasn't initially made for VR.
It wasn't. I just assumed that it was.
No, it was a point. It was a point and click adventure, just like Myst was. And so when they brought it into VR, they tried to keep that clarity and fidelity from the PC version. Yeah, which they just can't do in VR. Not with a game like that. Maybe they could now with better technologies and everything. I don't know.
Well, that's it. That's a good segue into the fact that they have another Kickstarter. Firmament. So tell us what you know about Firmament, because you're more familiar with Cyan Worlds games than I am up until recently.
Yeah, this is just like the last one, or like Obduction. They had a Kickstarter. I actually did this one and gave them some money. But they got $1 million for Firmament, which is a made from the ground up VR game. So
amazing!
I'm excited to see what they do. They have never let me down. Every Cyan game I've played, I've absolutely loved their puzzles. They just make you work so hard. But like you said, there's just such a fulfilling feeling when you figure it out.
That's it. So this would be the first. No, not the first, because obviously we have Myst over Christmas. But this will be the first AAA PC VR title from them, I guess.
Like initially just a VR game. So I don't know. They might make it so you can play it 2D as well. That wouldn't shock me if they do that.
I think it would make sense, because there's a lot of people out there that would not be happy if they couldn't play it. And VR is still quite a niche gaming market at the moment. It's only just beginning to take off. So if I didn't have VR, I'd be miffed if they released a game that I couldn't play, because I'd want to play it as well.
That's just like the Half-Life people when Alex came out were all upset.
That's it. And Valve can get away with that maybe, but I'm not too sure if other companies could, especially these kind of smaller indie companies as well. Not the Cyan Worlds is small really, because they've made a lot of money from these games, But I think they're a small team though, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not very big.
No.
I've been getting a lot of cool videos from them through their Kickstarter and stuff about production and stuff they're doing, and it looks like it's going to be fantastic. I'm pretty excited. I don't really get I don't understand what the story is. From what I've seen, you're like a person isolated, but it looks like you have this kind of like a AI robot guide type thing.
Okay.
And like they're in kind of a tundra-ish type world. It looks like maybe the world is frozen over into an ice age or something like that. I don't know, but it looks pretty sweet. I'm excited.
Excellent. And do you know when that's due to drop?
Well, it was supposed to come out. If it wasn't last year, it was this year. I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 2022 game.
Really?
We'll see. I'm guessing it'll at least, I think the most optimistic outlook would be the end of 2021.
I really hope it does drop in 2021, because I've got a thirst for more of these games. And I still haven't finished Obduction. I'm still playing through, so I'm on stream. I just finished stream 7 of Obduction, and I've said to chat, I don't care how long this game takes to beat. I'll keep on streaming it all year if I have to, because I
won't take a year.
Yeah, well, it might do. It might do. So we'll see how I get on with the rest of the puzzles. But I think if I've solved the what's considered to be the hardest puzzle in the game, then I should be in good stead to get to the end soon. Still got a few things to figure out about it though. But I'm enjoying every minute of it, kind of. When I hit the frustration wall, I'm still kind of enjoying it at the same time, because I know the solution's there in front of me somewhere. I've just got to pay a bit more attention, So, because the puzzles aren't unfair, I don't think. They're just complicated, and you have to really put that logical brain on and really observe the environment to figure out how to get the solution.
Observation is always key with those games. It's kind of like that three machine swap, the 3 swap machine puzzle. That's why I was like, pay attention to what's going on around you when you open it up, because you could see how it would change what it was actually taking with you.
I didn't actually know. I didn't twig exactly what those machines were doing. Like, I didn't realize they were swap machines, they're called. And after a while I started getting a bit of a pattern as to what they were doing every time I activated one. And then that led on to me thinking logically about how you can, you know, fix this particular issue and get the puzzle sorted, you know. Yeah. Holy cow, yeah. Unbelievable game. Unbelievable. So that is Obduction by Cyan Worlds, and I just can't wait to play their next title or anything that they bring to VR in the future. Really looking forward to it. Yeah. So a new release that happened on the Quest 2 this week was Mare by Vision Trick Media. Now, this is a really interesting title. It's almost like meditative. It's a VR adventure game. And you basically control like a mechanical eagle, like a mechanical bird of prey, and that can shoot lightning and affect things in the environment. Really weird, I know, really, really weird. But it's a very cool experience. And you're kind of guiding this little girl around the environments, and you're solving small puzzles. It's like a light puzzler. But I don't think the game is really designed to be focusing on puzzles. It's more about being in the world, experiencing the world, and feeling alive. And it's very relaxing, and you know the music sounds good. But so I've played only about 40 minutes of it at this point, but I plan to finish it this week. But I know, Greg, you played a little bit more of it at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know how close I am to the end, but it just started a chapter after where you left off. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how much more after that, I don't know. But it's, you know, it reminds me a lot of Ico from PlayStation. Yeah. I think it was that PlayStation, or was that PS2?
No, so it was on oh God, I think it's PS2. Yeah. Because it was one of those that quite demonstrated the graphics of the PS2 quite nicely. Shadow Colossus was definitely PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was just it's got that kind of a feel to it. It's just such a pretty game. I mean, it uses a very stylized low poly graphics, but they did it right because they're still really pretty to look at. I love the way the leaves and the trees, you know, blow in the wind and everything, and you know,
the world feels alive, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. That little girl is just adorable, you know. Even though I could do a little less with her constantly repeating the same two things, because she does that the whole game.
Well, that's like Ico. Have you played Ico?
I've never played it.
You've never played it, so like is again like it's a character you're kind of controlling around the screen, and you're kind of helping get through the environments and stuff, and they make very similar noises, so it's really, really similar to Ico in that respect, and it definitely gave that kind of vibe, I think.
Yeah. I mean, like, the puzzles definitely are not anything that's going to stretch your brain or anything like that, but that's okay, because I just found myself, I was actually yawning towards the end of it, but it wasn't because I was bored. I was just relaxed. Yeah, relaxed. It wasn't like I was bored. I was like, God, this is just, it's just such a peaceful.
Oh yeah, really enjoying this game.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to give you a bad impression on that, because like I said, it's just such a peaceful, like you said, meditative type game.
Yeah.
The music is great with it. I love the art style. It's just the flying from point to point that you do. I mean, it's got basically just node-based locomotion, the way they set it up.
Yeah, I have to say, when I loaded into the game, it was quite strange to me, because a lot of the time you're above what's going on. I don't know if you had that. You're kind of looking down a lot at the birds. And you know, it's perfect for the quest. It's obviously designed for the quest, because you have to turn around a lot. You're kind of like, you know, you turn at different angles, and not where you expect either. Like, I was pretty much looking down under my feet at the top of the bird at one point, sitting on top of this thing. And, you know, you're staring off into the distance behind you, and there's a lot of movement as you're kind of controlling the bird, you know. But the feeling of sending it from node to node is nice, because you never get bored of watching that bird flying off into the distance, you know. It's
there's
very relaxing.
Little jade cats, so anything that has cats in it, I'm you know, it's a plus for me. But it's like these little jade cats that they're like collectibles that you have to find, and then you have to figure out a way to get that girl to those cats.
Okay.
And There was a couple of them I think I saw, but I just couldn't understand how I was supposed to get her there. At least one of them I remember. Most of them I figured out, but and it looks like I might have missed some too. So you've got that type of thing to do because apparently it's a short game. So
yeah, I've heard it's close to it's about 2 hours beginning to end if you play through it, but you can extend it with the collectibles. So.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. Is that $20? It's $20, right? It's $19.99, I think, is what I spent on it. Which once again, $20 for a game, I don't feel too bad if it's only 2 hours. But,
yeah, and if it makes you yawn as well, it's well worth it.
Well, yeah, if I need a sleepy time.
Sleepy time. I'm playing
No, not in a bad way. It's
not
like
in a bad way.
It's not like the other Quest 2 games, like from the Christmas episode that gave us the angry reindeer.
The grumpy reindeer.
Those were just annoying, but
that grumpy reindeer. I'm glad he's gone.
yeah, me too. He was almost there though at the end of Alien Isolation because he was pretty pissed when he quit that. He just looked at the screen and said this.
I was not having a good time at the end of Alien Isolation. I was not having a good time. So maybe Mare is like the antidote to Alien Isolation.
Yes, there you go.
Play through Alien Isolation, then load up Mare afterwards just for like a half hour's calm down.
Bring that blood pressure down.
So bring the heart rate down and play a bit of Mare after it. So as I say, I played like 40 minutes of Mare so far, and I think it's unique. I think it's really unique, and yes, it definitely takes inspiration from Ico and that kind of series of games, but it does stand out as its own thing as well. Mm-hmm. Like they've done well with it, I would say, and like not that I really understand what the world's about. The world is really confusing. Like at one point, there's like these. It's almost like this world's been at war because there's like bombs on parachutes that are floating in the sky and exploding. There's like ruins everywhere, which kind of gives a vibe that maybe things have been destroyed. So maybe you're in the aftermath of some sort of battle. Like, but it's not. From what I've played so far, it hasn't really been explained what the world's about. No. But all I do know it is a joy to kind of explore it with the little girl, your little sidekick as well. But I think the colours are so vibrant in this.
Yeah.
Like when you look at the clouds, in like the tones of all the colours, like the colour palette is amazing. Almost like a pastel shades as well, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's not like if you compare art styles, like take a look at something like Jurassic World Aftermath, how everything is just so flat. Yeah. And if there is any shading, it's like a big obvious, and it's just like a one-step type shading. Yeah. And this, they have multiple layers of shading on their low poly assets, which just make the game look so much better.
Yeah, probably brings it alive. And they've done this on the Quest 2. Again, Quest 2, it's a fairly powerful headset now. It's one of the most powerful processors out there. And but they've done well with these graphics on the Quest 2, and they've done better than Jurassic Park Aftermath, 100%. I prefer the graphical style of this over that. And these developers, these art directors, they've got to find a way to bring their games onto Quest, and which means dumbing down the graphics. But dumbing down the graphics doesn't necessarily mean making them so basic it looks awful. This game shows that you can create incredible vistas on the Quest if you use the right art style for it, and that's what Mez completely nailed. And I've enjoyed the 40 minutes that I played so far. I'm definitely going to finish it, and knowing that it's only a 2-hour experience, I think I'm going to take my time with it and maybe get the collectibles as well.
I don't expect I don't know if we're ever going to actually know what happened in that world in Mare, because the game, the whole thing, you're always like, what is going on here? With that game, just have no idea. But it's okay because that's the way. I think that's exactly the way it's supposed to be. It's like when you're going from chapter to chapter and you're in that dark thing and there's this big mechanical thing. You know what I'm talking about? Around. Like,
it's a menu system, isn't it? It's like these big kind of like signposts almost. That the bird can sit on.
That's even before that. There's like this big column in front of you. It has these big things coming off of it, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
spinning around.
Like bird
Yeah,
heaven or
and
something.
so I'm like, what is
Yeah.
this? I don't even.
Yeah.
Like, what am I like? Some kind of weird bird
Robot
purgatory, or
Yeah, it was a bit like that, wasn't it?
yeah,
Definitely. I
So-
agree, and you're right. It's the mystery that they've created. It's a mystery of the game that I guess they need to keep that intact for it to have an impact on you
Yeah.
over time. Yeah. But okay, that's cool. Well, that's Mare, and that's on the Oculus Quest 2. So highly recommend picking that up if it sounds like your kind of game. Enjoy. So this episode, we got some winners to announce. So we had a little competition to win a couple of keys for Super Bright VR's InDeath Unchained for the Oculus Quest. Amazing game, one of my favourites. It's a bow and arrow roguelite game. I've got many hours in that, and I can't wait to go back and play it some more. So we've got a couple of keys, so thank you very much to them. And here are the winners.
Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Hello, and welcome to our spaceship. Mo and I are honored to be announcing that. Mo, what are you doing? We have some winners to announce.
Oh, I'm just watching Dr. Greg kill VR Bug in Population 1.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Come here, check it out.
Yeah, that is funny. But we.
Yeah. No. Let's watch it again.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay, that's great. But can we?
No, wait. Let's watch it in slow motion.
Yeah, okay. So, look, I see I'm not going to be getting any help here, so the winners of the TripVR InDeath Unchained Key giveaway are Frizicine83, however you say that, I don't know, just read it over here. And Mojo VR, Orlando, Florida VR. Who the hell comes up with these names?
This never gets old.
Just watch Janice and Kale.
So there you have it, folks. That's episode 5 of the TripVR podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. If you are interested in any of our content, please find our channels linked in the description below. So this is me, VR Bug, saying goodbye and thank you very much for your company. And this is...
This is Dr. Greg saying goodbye, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe and mash
Yes.
that little bell thingy and comment and share.
And what he just said. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. We'll see you on the next one in a couple of weeks. Bye-bye.
Bye.